Hey guys, Savage Joy here with Real Progressives. Um, Let me just type my name here because it never comes up when I do solo. So anyway, as you can see by the title, I'm going to be discussing Shill Neolib Pelosi, and not just her, but the fact that people who call themselves progressives and who ran on progressive campaigns are now saying they endorse her. So basically, we went from, this blue wave, and then we went to, oh my God, we have to endorse progressives. And then we went to, oh, now we got progressives, but ooh, actually, you know what? We're just going to have to kind of work with them and see, if maybe it's strategic. Fuck strategic bullshit. You're being presumptuous that, that they have good intentions, that, you really, really, really think that Pelosi, who has done nothing but take corporate bribes and be a shill, is going to somehow work for us now because you're completely in denial that that you want to tell yourself that we had such a success two weeks ago. It is so crazy to me. It was bad enough when you see all these people who were like, I will never vote establishment again. I will never, I am progressive all the way. If you take corporate money, I'm done. If you don't support Medicare for all, fuck you. And then it got to the midterms 2 weeks ago, and it was, damn, I better vote blue no matter who, because Republicans. So we saw a lot of people back out. And then the people who did endorse or did vote progressive voted for people like Andrew Gillum, who was progressive during the primaries, but then after the primaries decided to start taking corporate money and change Medicare for all to ACA, and, prance on stage with Debbie Wasserman Schill and things like that. So yeah, that's not progressive. That's anybody can use that word. Anybody. Hillary herself on the debate stage that one time, she said, I am a progressive who gets things done. Progressive what? Progressively awful? Progressively stupid? Yes, Vermin Supreme. Yes, I met him and he's freaking awesome. Ponies for everyone. So anyway, it's just so bananas that you're going to run your campaign on these things and then endorse the exact bipolar opposite of what you told we the people you were running on. That is, and then 2 weeks after the vote, like, you don't even give it time. You're just like, okay, I may as well just, admit it right now. I duped your asses. One of the ones that, really just like, I was on to, oh, what the hell's her name? The one who's on the Medicare for All caucus, and Pramila Jayapal. I was onto her the past few months because I saw a picture of her hugging Debbie Wasserman Schill, real tight with her. And then I was getting inside scoops from people who were with her in Washington and kind of giving me the down low of what goes on behind the scenes. So I was kind of onto her, but, I feel so bad for people who voted for her 2 weeks ago. I think she won by like 83%. I mean, she killed it. And then she's on the Medicare for All caucus. I believe she could have actually created that. I heard that. I'd have to do more research. However, you know, now she's came out and she's proudly endorsing Nancy Pelosi. Okay, Pelosi, who has been vehemently against Medicare for All from day one, not even open to it, doesn't even pretend like she's open to it. She is just 100% against it. And Pramila comes out and says, I am, happy to endorse her. Okay, so you're going to tell people you don't, like, if you don't run on corporate money, don't endorse people who do. What does that even mean? I don't understand that. So these so-called progressives come out and they run on these things, but then 2 weeks in, they're like, sorry, you're duped. Oh, well. Rodolfo, you are so right. I hear from people on the West Coast who are, just say like my friend Jeffrey on here, he was saying he came up with Medicare for All, legislation, and Pramila literally would not even look at it. So this is the kind of stuff we're dealing with, these facades. It's really sad. People are really pushing Barbara Lee. I would get behind her 1,000,000,000 more %. However, it's my understanding that she is not considering running. So we can't just, keep, betting on that. Because it's my understanding that she has not made any inkling that that she's going to run. Floyd, you know what? I need one too. Floyd said he needs a profanity disclaimer t-shirt. And I would like a banner or something, because I'm not required to do that. However, I noticed that when I don't, I look half my age. I understand. I look very young. But I do get like middle-aged people in the comments telling me to watch my mouth and, such talk for a young lady and shit like that. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to put a profanity disclaimer. Sometimes it works, sometimes not so much. But I digress. So it seems like, okay, Mike, you know what? That's exactly what I was going to get to next. So these people who talk about hating Trump, oh my God, he is so, so, so evil. Trump is everything evil in the world. He's, disgusting. He's abhorrent. And then he endorses Pelosi. But yeah, I support Pelosi. So aren't you the company you keep? If you're saying that, you are completely just absolutely repulsed by Trump and you're supporting someone he endorsed, that makes no kind of sense. Furthermore, for Trump to endorse a Democrat, look, she's a Republican. That's all it is. That's it. She's a Republican. Trump is not going to endorse a progressive. Seriously, it's not going to happen. She came out and said she won't be, supporting impeachment, which I really couldn't give two fucks about. But, the Pussy Hat Party is all about impeachment. That's, they're all about it. So if that's the case, then they should be outraged that Pelosi said that, but they're not. Now, the second she said that same afternoon is when Trump came out and endorsed her. And not only endorsed her, but the fact of the matter is he even said, I'm going to help you get some support from my Republican colleagues. That's how much of a Republican she is. And also she's 78. So don't go, saying shit about Bernie who's 77, because that woman looks like she's about to fall the hell over. But anyway, So, yeah, I mean, there's just so much hypocrisy. I don't like being duped. Nobody should. And the fact of the matter is, if you're going to run on a certain campaign, you owe the people who voted for you the, you know, the respect of keeping your promises. Because even if you don't achieve what your platform, was, that can happen. We've seen it happen a million times. However, it is still our job to stand up for our beliefs, to stand up for things we think, we the people deserve, to stand up for those who can't speak for themselves, to stand up for those people who are literally dying and begging for help. So rolling over and being a sellout, that doesn't do anything at all. So something that I noticed now, also, she's 78, Ryan. I'm not kidding. So something else I noticed towards the after the primaries, you see a lot of people who are just becoming more complacent. Starting a few months back in September, when the end of the primaries completed, you see a lot more people being complacent, a lot more people saying, well, there's only two choices and this one's better than the Republican. Well, you know what? Most people are, but that doesn't mean they're good. So if we're going to make the statements that no corporations, no on anyone who doesn't support Medicare for all, we won't vote for. If we are going to make these bold statements, we need to stick to them. It doesn't work when half of us stay true to our word and half just kind of bail out because they fear more Republicans. Voting blue, no matter who, gives us Debbie Wasserman Schill. It gives us Manchin. It gives us Pelosi. This is not helping us. We need to vote progressive no matter who. That's it. Kirsten, I apologize. You talk about Ted Cruz. If I see one more post about Beto for 2020, I am seriously going to punch my freaking computer screen. I cannot stand that shit. Dude has been in politics for 6 years, has voted Republican repeatedly, has not done shit for progressives, still won't say the words Medicare for all, and now people are posting, oh, he's like Obama, but a vanilla version. Is that good? To me, it's not. Is he going to bomb 7 more countries? I mean, I don't want that. I mean, it's so crazy the way people get so obsessed with, first it was Oprah, oh my God, Oprah 2020. And then now it's Beto. It's like, can we just focus on people who are actually doing something to help others? Someone who, isn't just handsome and plays a guitar. That's not good enough to me at all. Like, and first of all, there's a lot better bands. Shit, if you're going to run someone in a band, give me Zach De La Rocha. Give me Tom Morello. Give me some Bad Religion, something like that. But Beto, dude just came out of nowhere. And all of a sudden, he's some progressive hero. No, he's not. He is a neolib who is trying to convince people he is coming around. And one of the reasons that people just went, and just latched onto him is because he was going up against the freaking Zodiac killer. Anyone is better than Ted Cruz. I mean, he's creepy and disgusting. I mean, Joe Kennedy is, that's a very good point, Robin. She brought up Joe Kennedy. He gave one speech and all of a sudden, Joe, 2020. That's a really good point. They did do that. And I'm like, oh, the same Joe that actually takes millions from pharmaceutical companies and doesn't support Medicare for all and takes millions from big businesses. And oh, yes, he's very progressive. Okay, sure. People love to throw that word around, but they don't do research. When I have had the pleasure to interview 100 candidates in 2018. Every single one of them was progressive. And when I say progressive, I mean not a single corporate donation, all support Medicare for all support Green New Deal, all support free college tuition. I mean, these are staples. And 100 of them, and those are just the ones I got to interview. There are plenty, but the people aren't showing up for those. They're not showing up for them. They end up getting stuck in this trap that they complain about. They vote against their own best interests all the time. It's sad because you think you have this coalition and you think you have, this thing that's, this foundation. And, people talk about unity and yeah, I mean, that's very utopian and that's just beautiful. But at the same time, I am not going to have unity with someone who says, let's just forget what everything Pelosi stands for because she might be having a good strategy. No, I will never do that. I am a very proud independent and I speak for myself. I represent myself. I don't label myself. I vote person, not party. I will never be vote blue no matter who, ever. I never have been. I never will be. And, these people keep convincing themselves that something's going to change. We have the upper hand right now. If you are a progressive, what you do is you go to these shills and you say, look, it's this simple. You don't talk about Medicare for all. I want Medicare for all. Many people want Medicare for all, including Republicans, progressives, Democrats, libertarians, Greens. We all want Medicare for all. How about this? You don't get our votes unless you sign on publicly for Medicare for all. It's called negotiation. It's called using your leverage. It's not just rolling over and selling out and being like, well, maybe it's strategy and maybe she'll listen. And why would you trust that bitch? For what? She hasn't done shit. Her husband is a bajillionaire. How do you get rich in politics? You're a crook. Her husband is a realtor who makes gajillions of dollars. She's bought. Period. It's that easy. Stephen, Beto is not a progressive. He never has been. He has, if you look at his voting record, he has never voted on a single progressive thing ever. He does not talk about, and he took many dollars from corporations. He shilled for Hillary Clinton. He shilled for Debbie Wasserman Schultz. He is not a progressive. He's not. I mean, people can want him to be. He's not. Is he better than Ted Cruz? Yeah, everyone is. But that doesn't mean he's progressive. That's another problem I had with interviewing so many candidates. I would get recommendations all the time, which I loved because that's, I'm in Pennsylvania. I don't know all, candidates all over. There were thousands. So I would get recommendations and, a number of them I actually did choose to interview. But the problem is I would get these, these suggestions and it would be like, and I'd say, well, are they progressive? And they'd say, well, they're more progressive than their opponent. Dude, That's not progressive. I don't give a shit. Like, there's always one who's more progressive. That doesn't mean anything. Like, I mean, Trump's more progressive than Cruz. Like, what is that? I mean, what does that mean? It's just so crazy when people use it. I mean, is progressive a sliding scale? I'm about this high progressive, right about here. But this dude over here is about that progressive. So I'm going to go with him. I mean, you either are or you aren't. I mean, it's really that simple. Yeah, you know what? David Wren, you are so right. He said, never support somebody who claims the ability to raise lots of money for campaigns as their main selling point or qualification. That's so right on. Absolutely. You got to watch what they promote, what they brag about, and their key talking points. Do they talk about the issues? Or, you know, also, how many times do you look up what people are saying to see if you Dave Craig, stop. I'm trying to pay attention and you're making me laugh. Dave Craig said, have you heard about Rakegate? Trump said, saying Finland cleans and rakes their own forests. But anyway, see, Dave, I forget what I was saying now. What do you guys think would happen if we took big money out of politics? What do you think would happen? Because, you know, one of the quotes I always use is by Senator Bernard Sanders. What he says is, it's with big money, it's not a win, it's a purchase. And, you know, we're all learning that so much more with each election. If we didn't have big money, we'd have Medicare for all. We would have, you know, free college tuition. We would have affordable medications. I don't think enough people really acknowledge just how much that, you know, it plays a part in what we're going through. If we did, you know, Jimmy Carter is a huge, huge, huge proponent of, you know, not just stopping Citizens United, but getting out gerrymandering and, you know, any kind of, you know, big money. Another thing is that's so weird is I hear people defending money from Soros. And yeah, okay, Soros isn't a business, so to speak. He's just some rich twat waffle. But still, I don't think people like you're progressive if you take money from him. He's a shill. And I was like totally attacked when I said that Stacey Abrams took over $70,000 from Soros. It's a fact. I was just ripped a new one for pointing that out. Even though it's true, how dare I call attention to it? I don't really think that's acceptable. Just because he's not a so-called corporation, he's a billionaire who has tried to stifle our democracy. Taking donations does not make you progressive. That's not someone you want to take, actually take donations from. Okay, absolutely, Chris, you're so right. Beto O'Rourke opposes Medicare for all, opposes college for all, opposes taxing Wall Street, second largest recipient of oil and gas, voted 3 times to increase Trump's military budget, and that is absolutely correct. I have read those as well. You guys can search all of this stuff. It is so, you know, it's all out there. Before every single person I interviewed, I looked up. I mean, I spent like, you know, 2 hours for each person I interview, just looking them up before I even offer them, you know, a place to come on my show. I I'm not going to ask someone on and then be surprised by, them duping me. So I do my research. I've had so many candidates say, I'm progressive. And then I look up and I'm like, actually, I saw that donation you took 6 months ago. Or actually, I Googled you and this article came up about how you support Hillary Clinton, or, I do my research. I have certain, how do I want to say, like certain rules to actually allow someone to come on my show, not because I'm so, amazing and, my show is just so great that I will only let certain people on. It's about the fact that I'm representing real progressives and we support real progressives. If you're not real and you're not a progressive, then fuck you. You're not coming on. It's not sanctimonious. It's just staying true to what we stand for. So what else are you guys thinking about? What else is just driving you mad about this Pelosi thing? To me, it's just driving me nuts how it's been 2 weeks. And already people are folding. I saw someone mention Martha Fudge. and I can't, like, with that. Ojeda is awesome. I love him. He is awesome. So yeah, Martha Fudge, the thing is, about her, she is a neolib. So yeah, I would still probably prefer her just to watch Pelosi, like, get shot down. Like, just seeing her face would be so freaking amazing. But, she's not great, and by any means. But I think at this point, the two of them are really all we have. But it does look like Pelosi's going to get it again. It seems like we, the people, are the one standing up to her. Except we only have, a couple people on the inside standing up to her. And it's not enough. It's just not. So Gabriel said Pelosi irks me so bad, tired of seeing her face all these years. I kind of feel that way about Hillary, honestly. Like, all I see is pure evil when I look at her. Nancy, I apologize, said no fudge. And I like that. That is totally a hashtag. I love it. SNL did a really good skit about her name Fudge last Saturday. I definitely look it up. Jeff, yes, I have been ranting nonstop about the DWS fuckery again. And I just spoke with Tim Canova. He'll be coming on a third time because I harass him all the time. And Tim is bae. And so he'll be coming on likely next week again. And this is something that is just so hard to watch him go through again. So many people were so obsessed with Andrew Gillum and Stacey Abrams that Tim got pushed to the back. Nobody's mentioning Tim except independent media. I had Nico House on. We were talking about that shit. Like, I had, several guests. I did several rants. This needs to be talked about more. There is so much proof of the fuckery that's going on again. And, Jeff, you're sweet. Thank you. Tim does say he loves me. I don't know if it's just platitudes, but I'd like to think he does. Tim is bae. I tell him that all the time, and I have a feeling he gets red when I say that, but it is true. Tim is bae. But yeah, so it's really been hard watching him go through this shit all over again. This is a man who took a 2-year hiatus on his job as a college professor of law. He's put everything on hold. He campaigned his heart out for 2 years. Tim Kaine? Please tell me you're kidding, though. Please tell me you're kidding, because I can't right now. No, Tim Canova, in Florida. So, this is just a repeat. We watched DWS destroy our chances of Bernie. We watched her get fired from the DNC, yet get hired by Hillary 2 hours later. We watched her completely steal from the election from Tim in 2016. His exit polls showed nothing even close to what her numbers were, and he created a lawsuit, and Brenda Snipes, who just resigned, admitted that she illegally destroyed paper ballots. That is, why does she still have a job after, doing that? It's been 2 years. Well, here's the thing. People didn't really stick up for Tim. It was only independent media and, some progressives who actually did. It's not like you're going to see MSM or anything saying, look, this invincible person who is basically Hillary's lesbian lover is, doing something corrupt, and we're going to call her out on it. That's the thing, Dave. That's what I'm posting about, because, cool, she resigned, but guess what? She shouldn't have resigned. Her ass should have gotten fired. She also should be in prison. When you admit to cheating, when you admit to illegally destroying ballots, why are people not more outraged? Because I was at Occupy DNC in Philly, and we marched for 6 days in 100 degrees, hours and hours each day, screaming for fair elections at the top of our lungs. And, and then where are those people who I marched with? Because I only see some of them who are actually standing up for Tim now. Why is that okay? Why did we suddenly just roll over and say, well, fuck it, we can't win? You know what? Honestly, we probably can't. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to raise hell in the meantime. I'm sick of these freaking neolib shills getting away with absolutely everything. Why is, you got Tulsi Gabbard, okay? She was in the DNC. She actually resigned because she was feeling love for Bernie, and she's supposed to remain impartial. She didn't feel like she felt like she was doing a disservice to her position because she didn't like Hillary and she loved Tulsi, or she loved Bernie. So she resigned. That's called respect. That's called class. When I met Tulsi, I talked to her about it, and I said, if Debbie Wasserman Schultz would have had a fraction of your class, we'd have President Bernie right now. But she was so obsessed with winning, and she was so obsessed with her, fembot lover, or whatever the hell she is, her lizard lover, that she was willing and able to do absolutely anything to make her win. Unfortunately, we are the ones who are paying for Hillary's bad karma. Hillary starts this shit where she asks Trump to run as a Pied Piper, tells the media to prop him up like a serious candidate, and then we actually get stuck with him because nobody wants her ass. Twice, these people didn't vote for her, and now she's dicking around with the idea of running again. And I've been saying this for months, and people have been just like, no, she's not. Stop. No, she's not. Dude, until she dies, she is going to try to be president. She will. Like, she has no qualms about making an ass out of herself. She does not care if Mark, stop. You know, you guys, I love you so much, but you distract me. Mark, who's an RP brother, said Tulsi Loves Bernie is the name of my new thrash metal band. Count me in. Yeah, Clinton did give us Trump. And you know, so many people just refuse to acknowledge this. They refuse. It's so crazy. And it's like, you know, I really don't give a fuck if you think WikiLeaks is Russian, you know, or any of that shit. They wrote the emails, period. They wrote them. Have they ever denied a single thing in them? Not one. So, you know, if they're when I interview candidates and guests, I am so much more composed. I swear. I promise. If this is the first show you're seeing, I just have the giggles. I don't know. But yes, Giovanna, you are so right. Hillary is Machiavellian, and she lives for nothing but her own ambitions. When people were actually, like, I remember, talk about cognitive dissonance, but we were actually, like, no short of begging. We were filling out petitions and stuff. Please, if you care about our country, drop the fuck out, because Bernie's being that douche, you know, double digits since day one. And, you know, Hillary was barely even, you know, and here, you know, half of the reason I think why so many people didn't get out and vote for Hillary was because, first of all, they didn't like her, but second of all, the media kept saying she had like a 98% chance of winning. So why the hell would they vote for her? They don't like her. So if you're so sure that she's going to win, why would you do it? I wrote in Bernie. I am proud as fuck. I know people who voted for Jill are proud as fuck. The thing about that is, like, if I would have voted for Hillary, I would have never respected myself ever again. Ever. I would have hated myself. I would have sacrificed my entire everything I stand for, I would have sacrificed, and she still would have lost. So 2020 is going to be a clusterfuck. Like, totally. We're going to have neolib galore, and it's going to be, you know, identity politics galore. Absolutely. It's going to be Kamala. It's going to be Joe Biden. It's going to be Cory Booker. You know, basically the epitome of what we don't want. And I don't know if I can trust the movements right now to actually take that on. What we're seeing, you know, with Pelosi right now, I'm worried is an indication of what is going to happen, you know, come 2020. It's getting to the point I know people will start announcing in January. So it is right around the corner. I know, you know, a lot of us have our people who we want. And I hope that we get some really good progressives in there. But I feel like it's going to be like the Republicans last time when, you know, they had like 16 or 17 people running. I really, really, really think it's going to be like half for the Dems this time. I can see like the stage just packed. And it'll be interesting because certain people will not drop. They won't. There's no way. And something I've learned by interviewing candidates is, you know, some candidates had such a following and got great votes, but they were running against 11 other people. So you're not going to win by a huge margin or anything. You're going to, you know, say you have 10 candidates, you're going to get a couple who have like 2%. And usually the person that wins, you know, only gets like 20% because it's divvied so much. But you can bet, like, if Hillary's back in, she will never drop, ever. No way. Yeah, Dave, I was thinking about that too. And Dave Craig was talking about 3 debates. So, and I think that's so awesome. I've actually done a few debates on my show, and it was a blast. I did the first ever Dem Enter, Dem Exit. As far as Richard Ojeda, Rob, I think he's fucking badass. I think he's awesome. I think he's amazing. I have one of the gentlemen I interviewed. I think, well, he's like best friends with him. So he talks to him a lot, and I've gotten to know him through him. And as a person, he tells me he is absolutely amazing. Yeah, Julian Assange, oh my God, this is infuriating. I think a lot of us kind of knew it was coming. Unfortunately, it's such a hard topic to even deal with. They have been out for this man forever, and he didn't write the emails. He didn't break into anything. He simply published them. And as someone who's considered a journalist, it just blows my mind, because I think about these things like how, you know, and so this is so not even close to Julian Assange, but I did interview a candidate once who was in a lawsuit with his opponent, and they ended up using quotes from my interview with him. And I was like, oh, fuck, like, I'm in a lawsuit? What the hell? I was just interviewing the guy. So that kind of freaked me out, because I'm like, am I going to have to go to Florida to like testify in this shit? So yeah, that was weird. But it's, you know, also, I digress a little, but are we ever going to find out anything about Seth Rich? Like, ever? Because I follow a lot of true crime podcasts, and I have asked every single one, please look into Seth Rich. The family deserves closure. We as a movement deserve closure. I just have no doubt that he was the one that gave Julian those, you know, the information. I don't doubt it. And Julian doesn't deny it. That's what's funny. Every time someone asks him, he just says, I don't reveal my sources. You would think if he didn't give it to him, he'd be like, no, it wasn't him, I promise. Well, Mark, you are so right. Free Julian Assange, Nordic Symphonic Metal Band. Yes. Yes. You guys are making me want to break out my guitar. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Julian. His mother has been on Twitter a lot, and it's heartbreaking. She's basically begging us to keep his name out there and to, you know, put up a fight what they're doing to him. Also, you know, there was a lot of misinformation because, you know, he's not American. So how does that work law-wise? How, you know, there was a lot of discussion as, can they even indict him? Because he's not American. He's not in our country. So how can we personally indict him? But I guess there is a way, because they're doing it. No, you do not want to hear me sing. No, I will not. No, I will not do that to you, ever. I love you guys too much. I will not do that. That is just mean. So yeah, I'm just ranting. So in conclusion, Nancy Pelosi sucks. She can eat a bag of dicks. Jeff, you know what? That's interesting because, you know, Jeff mentions Acosta and Assange, and the interesting thing is people are such hypocrites when it comes to those things. Acosta needs to be able to say whatever he wants, but then Julian Assange is a traitor. It's what was Mrs. Assange's last comment? Oh, she didn't comment for 3 days. Wow. That's so scary because we never know where the hell he is. Wow. That's so crazy. That man has been just persecuted nonstop. And he's the sacrificial lamb. Yeah, Sherry Acosta was showboating hardcore. Absolutely hardcore. Oh, thank you, Susan. I'm usually not this random. These guys are just cracking me up. So always, though, if you know, now that these candidates are kind of, on hiatus for the next year or so, I'm going to be looking to start interviewing activists again and people in nonprofits. I'm looking for, I would love to interview people from Haiti. I met some at Occupy DNC, and they shared some of their stories about what Hillary Clinton's foundation has done to their country. I would love to interview them again. I would love to interview immigrants about the things they've been experiencing the past few months. I would love to speak with someone who is disabled and on Medicare for All. These are things just, real stories, real people. I really miss doing that. I had some great activists on before who, have become heroes just by sharing their stories. So any suggestions are always welcome. You can hit up Real Progressives. Yeah, absolutely. Kirsten, Puerto Rico, anyone in Puerto Rico who is still, suffering, who would like to reach out for an interview, anyone in Flint. Even though we had a bit of a reprieve today, there is still so much shit going on there. Anyone who has a story and is willing to speak. I do always warn people straight up, though, they cannot be camera shy. That seems to be the biggest problem while looking for activists. We have 121,000 followers. So it's rough, but, they have to be comfortable in front of, in front of a camera. But I'm always open to suggestions. You can PM me. You can PM Real Progressives if you guys want to follow me. It's Joy Marie Mann on Facebook. So next week, as I said, I'm hoping to have Tim Canova back a third time. And December 4th, I'm having Rokana back a third time. And we'll be discussing some shit. I'm surprised he always comes back because he knows some savage joy. I know he's a sitting congressman, but I don't change my shit. Like, no matter who I talk to, I'm still savage. So thank you guys so much for watching. You are amazing. I'll probably be back sometime this week with another show. Friday, I will be hanging out with the amazing Ron Placone again. I've had him 3 times, and I'll be hanging out with him in person for the 2nd time. I freaking love that man, and I'm so excited. So I'll be speaking with him afterwards. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Much love, everyone.